Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Tell me, what's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Say what you thinking, what you thinking.
What's on your mind?
Share what you thinking, what you thinking.
Hey, what's on your mind?
We want to thank you all for joining us in studio for this very first episode of So What You Think. I'm so excited that you guys are here. You all have no idea all the messaging and things that have gone on behind the scenes trying to put this thing together, but we in here, okay? And we expect for some of you all to chime in sometimes. You think you might have some opinions on some things, then you raise your hand and I'm gonna give you a chance to say something also. We call this a topics show because the world is heavy enough right now and we want to talk about some things that make us laugh or make us think. Y'all down for that?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. They're gonna make you wait. Ladies, y'all ready?
Ready.
Okay, all right. So here we go. Let's say you're married for 10 years, okay? You got 10 years into this thing, and your husband wants a postnup. He comes to you and he says, listen, the business that I started is very successful now, and I think it's gonna do well, and what I'm thinking is, in case anything happens down the line, maybe we should decide now how we wanna split things up. Would you sign such an agreement? So what you think?
I got questions.
You got questions?
I got lots of questions.
Lots of questions.
Because how you just gonna pop off on me out of the blue, talking about, should anything happen? What you
Right.
planning, homie?
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
Yes, yes.
That's all I'm saying. I'm all for being prudent, and being rational because I think we're all old enough to know we can't predict the future. You never know what's gonna happen. But just the way you coming at me with this, like
Yeah.
it feels like you getting a little taste of success.
He was comfortable.
And you like,
He was comfortable with this question.
right.
Like he
now-
don't know me like that.
Now you feel like, ooh, I got options now.
Yeah.
So I've got loads of questions before I even consider. It's just me.
She said she just got questions.
I got questions, lots of questions.
Kanisha, what about you?
Ooh, I was gonna ask, so what would make you actually consider doing it?
Well, his logic, I'm not upset with his logic that, should something happen, like I said, we can't predict the future. We'd all love to think that we're going to get married and we're going to be together forever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever? Forever, ever? Anyway, but we don't know that. Like when we're vowing till death do us part for better or for worse, we really don't know what that is. We think we know. We're in our heads like, should you get hit by a bus? If you get stricken with cancer, I'll be there. And we just don't know what it is. And so I get it. I'm all for us being prudent because marriage is more than just a covenant. If you're religious, it's also a legally binding agreement. So I'm all for that.
So look, with that being said, it's kind of logical that because there are so many ups and downs in a marriage, that maybe he's like, okay, maybe we need, in case something go wrong or, whatever, maybe we should consider a postnup. I don't really necessarily think it's a bad thing.
I ain't say it was
I
bad.
want to know
I
what
just
was
said I got
going on the
questions.
10 years prior.
Bring it back up a little bit. What you say?
I want to know what was going on the 10 years prior.
He was building his business.
And she wasn't there?
She had to be there.
She was invisible.
Well, I'm just saying. He just said he want to protect things.
why I got
While they're in their right minds, let's decide how we would want to do it.
So I see it from the perspective of him not saying that something can happen or something will happen. Just in the event that we decide collectively, this isn't working for us anymore. I want to make sure that you're taken care of as well as I am.
Then he needs to say that.
Girl,
I agree.
But what if what he brings to the table is not what you was thinking it was
Well,
going
see,
to be?
then that's gonna be the problem.
Well, that's why we need to have that discussion
That's
now.
why I got questions.
Right.
We need to have that discussion
Ron,
But I
see,
think
right
it's
away.
best.
questions,
I
too.
think
You got
it's
questions
best.
too? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's best to do it before Mad Day come, and we upset because then it's not fair.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you about me now. It don't matter if it's mad day, happy day, sad day, glad day. I'm going to sign the paper because I'm getting 50%. I don't care what we're doing.
Period.
So bring the
Period.
paper in here and it's going to say half because if you go, the money will stay with me. It's going to stay
That's
with
fair.
me. It's going to stay with me. That's all I'm trying to take. But but I mean, I wouldn't like it. But I mean, yeah, okay, bring it in here because if it don't say 50%, I ain't going to sign it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's
Would any
fair.
of you all sign a Postnup after you're married?
That's a no.
No.
That is a
That would be a no.
no.
Everybody in the room.
Did you
said,
raise your
"Mm-mm,
hand,
get
yes?"
Somebody else to do.
See?
You would? Okay.
Yes, like you said, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think of one year, Jordan, she didn't have no prenup.
Wait, say that again.
$1 million. She got $70 million.
Say that again.
I said it depends on what comes in. Yes, we should have been detected before we got into this. We should have thought of it the first day we decided to go on our own. But now, there's a lot of things. He could have someone else, I could have someone else, or thinking about somebody else. But I'm going to protect myself. But lots of people will not do it, but I would. Because I did not get anything from my marriage. So I know what it's like. So if I got married again, I would have that prenup before we get started.
Okay.
And then if we couldn't have done it then, during the marriage, somewhere in this time of marriage, 10 years you say?
10 years.
9 years, we would have had that prenup signed and ready, with me
Yeah.
getting a little bit more than half, because I did all the work while he just sitting around.
But but like they said, when divorces come up, people are angry, they're mad, they're not thinking like they normally would, because they start fighting over the cat, the dog, and the cat litter. They fight over everything at that point. So I don't know. It may not be a bad idea, but like I said, I'm gonna get half, so we can sign it now, later. It don't make me no difference because the money gonna stay over here with me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So that's what we think on that one.
That's what we think.
That's what we
All right.
think.
All right. Well, here's another one for you guys. Let me see. The closer they got to the wedding, right? I don't want the guys to think I'm picking on you, but we girls, so we have to talk about it from the girl standpoint. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying women are not capable of the same things. 'Cause,
Welcome to the beauty shop.
Some of us be doing stuff too. But yeah, welcome to the beauty shop. Okay. So let's say that the closer he got to the wedding, he started having doubts about whether or not if it was a good idea, because they argue too much and never seem to find resolution. So 1 month before the wedding, he calls it off, and she and her family are going to sue him for the unrefundable money spent. Is that fair, or should you just cut your losses?
Oh, that's fair. He called it off. Yeah, that's fair.
Run that check?
Yeah, run the money on it. Like,
You said,
what I mean? Listen, again, like I said, things happen, and I'd rather you call it off before we say I do, and we have all these issues that could have been resolved beforehand. So I get that, but you're still not absolved of the consequences of your actions.
well, let me add a layer to this, right?
Okay, go ahead.
What if she calls it off, right? And he bought you a nice ring.
Oh, you gotta give it back.
He 12,000 in for this thing. He went on, got you a pretty nice piece of the rock for what he could do. But he still got to make payments on it. He want his ring back.
You're supposed to give it back.
You gotta give it back.
Give it back.
You gonna give it back?
I might not.
Yeah.
She said, get somebody else to do
I done invested time in this thing. I got to think about this thing.
Etiquette says if you call
I
it
don't-
off,
who is
you
etiquette?
have to give the ring back.
Etiquette need to stay out of my business. I don't know.
Emily and her post.
I don't know. Now we'll probably
Miss
give it
Emily
back.
Rose?
Especially since if he has to continue to make payments on. But now if he had pockets like that and he done paid for it, then you don't need that back.
I mean, like, why you call it off though? Like,
Huh?
did he
yeah,
do
that's-
something
Huh?
that made you have to call it off? Cause I mean,
And his pockets
So
are
you're
deep and you're calling it off?
You're saying that if he
Who
did
does that?
something to call it off, you should keep the ring?
Yes.
Now that's a thought.
I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying should you decide to keep it?
Should you?
That is
Honestly.
a breach of contract. I'm keeping the ring.
What do you men in the room think? Should
I'd
the
love
woman
to
get that
hear
ring back?
No one gonna say
what
yes.
these
Men, don't all
men
y'all
think.
speak at one
Should that
time.
woman get that ring back?
Gentlemen. Gentlemen.
They like,
Yeah.
I ain't going.
Yes.
Should the woman give the ring back?
Yeah.
We have a
Okay,
mix.
if the
We have a
man,
mix.
let's say he cheated
Kanisha
and
trying to keep that
engagement
ring.
is broken off, Should she keep the ring? Then I agree.
Breach
This
of
table
contract.
said, why would you want to keep
Because
the
I can
ring?
get the money.
It's a
for the-
consolation
pawn it.
prize. It's a
That's right.
They
consolation.
can pawn it and get the money.
He's still, resale value ain't gonna be what he paid for.
Get the
Oh my
money.
goodness.
What y'all mean?
All right. So listen, y'all, we're going to take a quick break here for cause for the pause, and then we're going to come right back and continue with So What You Think. What y'all think? Yeah.